Hi, this is Survivor from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to create a drawing here or painting. I've been inspired by one of my favorite artists, which is Ginger Cook, and she was creating this wonderful bright picture that had pears in the background and then had some nice background behind it. I don't have her colors, so she was using yellow ochre, the napson crimson, napson yellow or something like that. She was using a violet. She was using ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and two different types of red, and then white. I don't have any of those. So what I have, and I'll put what she was using, but those are not the colors I'll be using. I got these master chust. So I want to create, hopefully I can create this kind of similar drawing as hers, but using economic paints for myself. Now I know one of the recommendation is you want to use good quality paint because you won't get frustrated with your art. I just want to play, I want to concentrate on mixes, and I want to concentrate on the shape, and hopefully I will get this kind of similar result what she had. But if I don't get similar results, I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm just going to see if I can do it. For those out there that may get discouraged, I highly recommend that you may want to get little tubes of the artist quality paint and use the paints she's using and follow along. But for me, I'm just playing around with what I got, and it makes me happy. So whatever comes out, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to use two reds. My two reds are going to be this Artist Loft Deep Red and Permanent Red. I think that would be good. Then I'm using this lemon yellow, this olive green, this violet, this green yellow, and this Payne's gray. So she had a kind of orangey red kind of background, which I love. It really popped. So more likely I may not be able to get the same kind of background, but let's see what we can do. So I got my palette here, and I'm using, this is an angle brush and a smaller angle brush. This is 3/4 of an inch brush, and this is 1/2 an inch brush. So I have a 1/2 an inch and I have a 3/4 of an inch brush. I got my water, and let me go ahead and set aside, make some space in my room. I got too much junk. So here is my color wheel. So here's my red orange. So if I add a little bit of yellow, it may make this bright orange. I'm using primary red. Let's look at this one. This is deep red, so I'm going to put a little bit of that. And it's not even open. So let's open this thing. And we're just having fun, so don't stress too much about it. Art should not be stressful. Art needs to be something that we do to relax, so don't stress about it. I'm going to use this yellow lemon. Again, I didn't open this up. Now, I bought these when they were on sale. They were $2, and I thought they would be perfect for my art journal, and if I decide to host a class in church, I think this will be perfect for what they do. You know, the little kids, they don't need this really artistic, expensive paint. They just like just the flow of it, of just making something. So now let's go ahead and create the background. So I'm going to take a little bit of red, put it here, scoop up a little bit of this primary red and deep red. And I'm going to scoop a little bit of this yellow. Maybe a little more of this yellow. So I hope you can see this here. Bring it over a little more. And I'm just going to put that here. And it might require 2 coats just because this is not very highly pigmented paint. So that's the only thing when you use more economic paint. You may need to use more because they don't put enough pigment in there to really make it to hide everything. But that's okay, you just use 2 coats. And if you want to see you can see a little bit of the background, that's fine. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow. And don't mix it too much. Oops, you know what? Don't want to mess that one up. So let's just put this there. And you want it painterly. See how it's kind of painterly? It's not all even. I have some of the gesso coming up. That's okay. And you know what? I might want to put a little bit, I'm changing my colors. I might put a little burnt sienna. Just because I want to darken it a little bit. Let's see how that works. Want some areas that are dark. Like that. And remember, we're just having fun. It's in our art journal, just seeing what we can create. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry this and then we'll come back and I'll put a second coat, because that's the bad part about having economic paint, is that you need to put 2 coats. Okay, I'm going to put another coat so it's nice and dry. So let's just put another coat. And this time I'm not really going to mix too much. Just slap some coat on there, some paint. Really painterly. We're going to put some straight paint on and mix it on the canvas. Well, this is not canvas, but mix it on in my journal. Just having some fun here. Mine is not going to be as orangey as hers, but I think it'll still work. So now I'm going to dry this. I'm going to put a little bit up here of this yellow. And that's not one of the colors I bought. I didn't buy orange, or I just bought some primary colors. But okay, so now we're going to use these 2 colors. Ocean green. Put a little bit of that. We're going to use Payne's gray. That'll be interesting to see. And purple. Let's see what we create here. Okay. So I'm going to start with the blue. And put a little Payne's gray. It's a little too dark. I want it lighter. So maybe that will be some of my dark areas. I do have some white. Let's see. Metallic white. Maybe that's not a good idea. Super gloss, heavy gel. Silver. Nope, I need white. Let's see. iridescent medium. I don't think that will help. Yeah, we'll use what we got. So we got metallic white. It's going to go in there. Metallic white. Not a bad color. I may want to lighten that up a little. Hold on. You're probably thinking, what a mess. No, we'll see how it comes out. Put in some yellow, some green, put in some blue on here. Taking some of this, putting that here. Taking some white, put it here. Put some blue. And then we're going to start making a little darker down here, because that's where like my table's going to be with my peaches. Putting some color on, just brushing on some colors. I think I'm liking this. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna dry this and I shall be back. Okay, so I think what we wanna do is we want to go ahead and maybe we're going to start, this is where my table, actually, let's go a little higher. So 1, 2, 3, 4 inches up. Let's do 4 inches up. This is where I'm going to put my table, kind of where all the stuff is going to be. Then my jug is going to be in the middle of here. So the middle of this is kind of around here. So this is the middle. So that's going to be my lid for my jug. Let's see if I can get a better color so you can see it. Maybe this. Yeah, you can see it better. Okay, so I got my line here. And then this is where my jug is going to be. Then I'm going to go ahead about, let's see, if I go 1.5 inch in, or actually let's do 2.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
Oh, I don't know, my Echo goes off all the time. Whatever. Yeah, I know you don't know that one, Echo. So I'm going to go 2 3/4 on one side. 2 3/4 on the other side. Okay, we're going to go ahead and create a line right here, like 1, 2.5 inches up. Let's go ahead and create another line. 1, 2.5 inch up. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead, and actually I need to go in a little more. I don't like it there, so I'm going to go in let's go in 2.5 inches in. So 2.5 inches in on that side. Do 2.5 inches in on this side, right here. Then we're going to go up 2.5 inches up. 2.5 inches, 2.5 inch up. Then we're going to go ahead and from this point to this point, we're going to go ahead and make our jug line. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead. This is where our handle's going to be, somewhere in there. And then we're going to have, actually I'm going to just make apples. Let's just make apples. Apple there. An apple here. And then maybe a pear. We'll do a pear here. Do kind of a pear shape here. And don't like that pear shape. Let's do an apple here, a bigger apple here, and then a small little one. Maybe we'll do a little lime there. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do for that. So one of the things I can do, because this is economic paint, it may not cover as well the blue. So I may want to go ahead and pull some gesso and use that. And then I can put color on so that way it makes it bright. So let me go ahead and pull some gesso. So I pulled out some gesso. So when you're using not very expensive paint, and I even have gesso on the cover here, then you may want to put some gesso to really bring the vibrancy of your colors. And then every once in a while, so you don't create a film on your paint, I usually mist it with just a little bit of water. I'm going to use a smaller brush, smaller angle brush. This is the 1/2 inch angle. And then make sure I dry it real good. And I'm going to take some gesso and I'm just going to apply it in my jug here. Let's go ahead and put some on my apples. And I don't have a reference photo. I'm just remembering what she did, Ginger Cook, in her episode. I'll put the link to her video so you can follow along with her. I'm just doing this by recall. Because my iPad is not down here with me. Usually that's what I use, an iPad. And I have it in the room charging. Now I want to get some more darker areas around here. So let me rinse this off. Clean it. And let's go ahead and put some of this dark area around here. So I have my jug. Definitely want to put some dark color around here. And we may need to even go darker. Or we may need to put some bright here, so that way our dark color will highlight more. And we want to put some dark color around here. On the side.
Every painting has an ugly stage, and this is actually my ugly stage for this painting. But what you have to do is just keep persevering. It will come out at the end. Remember, you're going to put layers upon layers, and as you put the layers onto your painting, it will start taking form, and it'll start looking how you want it to look. So just be patient and just keep persevering.
Okay. We may want to put some dark color around down here. Now we want to go ahead and get rid of this color because I'm going to go ahead and use my Napa yellow. Oop, I got to open this one up. I'm going to upload this video however it comes out. You watching the video. So I'm going to put a little bit here of this one because I want my jug so it's going to be a little darker, but I want my jug to have cream color. Then we want a little darker color, a little more brown, so I'm going to use this brown right on the side here. And we're going to go ahead and put some more of this and just blend it in. And this will be one with layers. We definitely need to put layers here. Darken some of this area here. So I'm mixing this sienna, brown sienna, and a little bit of this yellow, what was it? Yellow ochre, Naples yellow. That's what I'm using here.
Although in the label of these paints it says Napa yellow or Paints Gray, I noticed that compared to some of my pro paints that I do have the corresponding colors, my pro paints are a lot different. They're a lot more brighter than these. But they still will work, so just use what you have. If you don't have Napa yellow, use any kind of yellow. And just experiment. You can do little color swatches to see how well it blends with the other colors. That way, and make sure that it doesn't become dull.
And then we're going to go ahead and create my my handle a little bit here. Okay, we're gonna let that dry, and now I'm going to bring out my green. So I need a little dark green. I do have this olive green, and we're gonna see if we can gray our green down a little to create like a more an olive green, a darker olive green. And if we go to our color chart and we go opposite, so this is this color, it's kind of yellow green. So if you want to gray it down, we put a little violet, it looks like. So let's see, just take a little bit. And did I get my violet out? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is violet. So I'm going to go ahead, put it right there. I'm going to take a little violet. A little more green. A little white. Making a mess. I know. A little more green. Okay. And I just want to put that around here. And just tapping it. And then we're going to go ahead and tap some of this green as well. Like I said, it might be a mess, but we'll see what we create. And then I probably need to go back in a little bit more of my shadow and really define this here. And you pinch your brush so that way you can really get a nice shadow there. So I'm going to take some more of this color, and I think that was Payne's Gray. I'm just using straight out of the bottle. Payne's Gray, and just bringing in my shadows again, because I lost some of the shadow. Okay, gonna let that dry a little bit, and then I want to go ahead and bring some red on my apple. And that was deep red, and this is primary red. And I think I want this green. So we don't want to mix green and red because you really get a really muddy color. So you clean your brush before you dip into the red. And I'm just drying it real good. Take some of that green because I want to create like a lemon here. And if I wouldn't have put that black in the background, you wouldn't have gotten this bright color that you see there. See, it's starting to look, I like it. It's starting to look good. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and blend some yellow. And see if I can make this a little brighter. cleaning my brush, get rid of that green. We may need to put a little bit of white to really highlight this. And yellow. And it's just layers. You keep putting layers upon layers. Okay, just keep putting layers upon your layers. So here, put some yellow. And we don't want to, well, I guess we can put a little bit of red on the base of my lemon. A little yellow on my lemon. Little white yeso on my lemon. See, it's starting to look, I like it, it's starting to look good. So I may want to go ahead and put my little black area on my apples. Let's clean that off. And I'm going to put a little more of this bright green on here to kind of blend that. And then some more white and some more yellow. Okay, and then here, let's go ahead and put some of that color on here. And we may want to put a little bit of this green on there too. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm going to put a little more yellow. Let's see, where's my yellow? Grab a little more yellow. And now let's go ahead and address the jug. I need a little darker color. How about this? Let's see, what dark color can I use? I know Ginger doesn't like black. I'm just going to put black because I want to see how that works for my shade. I think I put too much black. Let's do that again. So mainly going to be a big chunk of green, of brown, with a little tiny bit of black. Yeah, I think that's good. And let's go ahead and add that in my shading here. And let's go ahead, take some of this, and kind of mix this together. Then we're going to just go in like that. It's starting to look a little more like a jug. Let's put a tiny bit of shading right here. More shading here and on the sides. And putting a little more shade on the side of our jug, and then drag it in. And if we want to make this side, the side stand out, what we can do, let me clean my brush, and then pinch it. You can put a little bit of white, which is my gesso. I'm using gesso. And I'm going to pinch it. So I'm using gesso right here. Actually, we could put this here. So this is gesso. And you'll want to put just a little bit. Right there. Then I'm going to go back with my dark color and just blend that in like so. And creates that kind of halo area. And do the same thing here. Okay, and then okay, so now we need to really put some more green. Wash my paint brush. I don't think I used this one. What is this one? Oh, let's open this one. Let's see how bright this is. Okay. Telling you, this is just fun, guys. I'm not going for perfection here. I'm just going for fun. And I need to put some dark color here too. Put too much, so let's go ahead. Do that here. I'm going to put some color here. Actually, I don't like that there, so let me just remove that. I'll dry it and then we'll go back to it. I really don't like how that one came out. That one's a little better. I do like how that one came out. So I'm going to dry that. Okay, so we need to address this here because I haven't really addressed the handle as much. So let's go ahead and put a light color for the handle. Then we're going to use some of this color. Let me wipe this off. Some of this darker color, and we're going to go inside of it like that. And we're going to go above it like that. Then blend it in. Oops. Pick up some more of the cream color, which is the Napa yellow, which doesn't look like Napa yellow. I don't think so. Then we're going to blend some more of this here. Okay. And maybe we need to blend a little more because and put some white for highlights. And I think I'm going to put some dark right around here.
So in order to make that handle pop, you really need to put a little darker color underneath it, like I'm doing there.
Just underneath
So that
it.
way that handle looks a little more realistic. And then I'm also putting a little more shading on the side. So my light is coming from the right hand side. So that's why the left side of my painting, it's a little darker.
Okay.
So you always have to be conscious of your light, where your light is coming from, and then the shadows that it casts. You want to make sure you do put those in there. And then now I'm trying to add a little more highlights where the areas where my lights will be. So I'm going back to that Napa yellow and just giving a little more brightness to my jug.
Okay, so I think I like that. Now here, let's go back and put some more of this green. Just going to tap it in there. And then I want to put some more of this really bright green, and I'm just going to tap it. Just like so. And I really need to darken. Go ahead and use this dark color in here. I really like how this area is coming along. And then let's go ahead, let's give a little more attention to this lemon here. Oh, I got black. Let me really clean my brush. Don't want to get any contamination. And if you make a mistake, it's because it's dry, you can just clean it up. See how it cleans up? So it's easy to clean. I want to use some more of this green. I want to use some more of the green on my apples. Okay. I want to go ahead and create the stem of my apple. So to create the stem, I'm just making sure you're going to go ahead and create a color here, stemmy color. Okay. Then I'm going to rinse it. So you got to put a lighter color on one side, and then you're going to go ahead and come back. Oops, it's too wet. So make sure you have a nice dry, especially with this paint. You want a nice dry surface. There's my stem. And I may want to go ahead and kind of so there. I think that's okay for stem. it's okay. So let me clean my brush. Let's go ahead and maybe put some dry brushing, some white to give it some pizzazz. So I'm using gesso, and I'm just gonna dry paint some white on areas. I think I'm gonna dry paint some white here. Definitely want to put some dry white, some white accents here. And put some dry, just going to brush some dry paint to liven up the surface here, or the background. And see, ready to see how pretty that looks. And then I'm going to do some dry brushing of some white on top here, just to kind of give it some pizzazz. Some dry brushing around here. And I might go ahead and put some dots on here and then dry brush areas. And I think if I put some berries, what do you think about berries? Let's see. And let's put some yellow too. And let's go ahead and put some here. Some of the paint is drying. I think I want to go ahead and put some more little accents here and there, like there. Like there. And maybe put some of this color. I'm liking this green, so let's see. Ooh, I like that, how that came out. That came out really nice. So now I'm trying to outline. So I want to put some dark. I actually need to put some dark right there. Now that I notice it. I need to separate these two. The only way you can separate those two is by having a shadow. And that will help separate these two apples. And then now that I have that, I'm going to go back with, oops, let me clean my brush. Go back with some red and really get in between here. And then I'm going to go back with some yellow on here. Back with some green. Come back with some white. Maybe we want to define our stem a little better. Okay. And what else can we do to this jug? We need to define that a little more, the lip. So maybe I can define the lip with some black here. And let's go ahead and define this a little bit by putting a strip of black underneath, or this is Payne's Gray, underneath my lip here. Then we're going to go on the sides. And really define that. I'm going to define this a little better. Okay. Define that area a little better. And maybe we want to define this a little better. The handle. You want to define the handle a little better. And we want to go into brown. Let's fix this here. And then we're going to take some gesso and oops. Put it on here. Okay. Actually, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so let's see if we can define these a little better too. And define our lemon. Oops. Kind of messed up that lemon there, so we can bring it back. And what else do we need? I need to make this pop a little bit more, so I went ahead, put some gesso and then some green. I don't know if I like that too much. No worries, we can put some areas of darkness. And then I think I'm done for a little bit. Let's look and see what we need to do. You know, for this, I might take, I'll be back. This is a script liner. Gonna take some of my Payne's Gray. I'm gonna make a very liquidy, making like ink here. I'm just using the point because what I want to do is, and I want it real thin. I may mess it up, I don't know, but I'm going to just make some curly cues on here. Just so that way we have a definition of these plants. And just lightly make little swirls. You don't have to do this, but I just felt like it needed something for these plants in the background. And then I might just use this to redefine my stem. I think I like this better for my stem. And then I can always use white gesso to kind of go over my stem. Like that. And I think I'm going to leave this alone. So this is my finished project. Not it's not the same as what Ginger made, so I'll put the link to hers, but it was fun to do with what I had, and I'm going to sign it. Always sign your masterpiece. And I gotta find a way to sign these stuff, so I'm gonna sign it that way. So I hope you like this video. And you know, I probably will later on put a little glitter or something, because I always have to have sparkle. I might put some sparkle. I don't know. Don't know yet. But this is my interpretation of the episode for Ginger Cook, that she created a jug with some fruit with her acrylic paints. Now I'm using my acrylic paints, which are Master Touch, Art of Love, and just different colors, greens, blues, grays, whatever I found, I used it for the paint. And I do like it. So I hope you like this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.